Welcome everyone, we're Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, meme review, software releases, hardware releases, and the websites by plebs. Joining us today is fellow toxic Bitcoiner, Dennis Sat. But you may know him a little bit more for the 58K gang. That's right, we brought him on to ask him some in-depth questions about the 58K gang. Anyways, we're going to the numbers. Let's do it, people.
Number time! Number time is brought to you by Bitcoin 2022. It's going to be the largest Bitcoin conference ever in sunny Miami. Get your tickets now before the price increase in 14 days. Of course, take advantage of the link down below for 10% off your ticket to Bitcoin 2022.
At the time of this recording, the block height is 711,030. The Bitcoin price, 57,610. Chain rewrite days, 758. Total public lightning capacity, 3,261.9. Moscow time, 1735. And blocks to the halvening, 128,970. You see where we are, Nico? We're right below 58K.
Yeah, just exit the screen, Phil. It's time to interrogate Dennis. Dennis, this price is completely your responsibility, your sole responsibility. Your meme caused this, right? It caused all the broken hearts on Twitter right now.
This is your fault.
Yeah, it's your fault. We've been blaming it on you for the last 3 days. What do you have to say to defend yourself?
Good. I'm having a good time. I don't know, but doesn't seem like anyone else is, but I'm having a great time. It was fun in spring, and it's even more fun now because.
So tell us the history, right? Tell us the history of the, because I remember the first time I ever saw that 58K, and I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? So
where did that meme come from, and how were you so accurate? Do you have the CEO of Bitcoin's cell phone number? Is that why? Are you and Yellow coordinating? What's going on?
Yeah, Yellow and I, we go way back. Back when 58K was not 58K. But I don't know. It seemed to get a lot of pushback in the spring, so I figured, why not just troll everyone and say this is the best that Bitcoin's ever gonna do. 58K forever. We might go above it every now and then, but we got to bring it down every time, just to, because that's the perfect number. I don't know why people hate it so much. It's like, why don't we just stay at 58K forever, guys? It's not that hard.
I mean, dude, it took a life on its own. And listen, the Bitcoin whales that are controlling the price right now, they definitely. We're like, dude, let's troll everyone and let's bring this shit back to 58K because it's a fucking legendary meme. What do you think, Phil?
I just don't understand why 58K. Why couldn't you just give us 70? Why couldn't you pick a good number like 72? 72 is a magical number, dude. Every 72 years, the backdrop of stars moves 1 degree in the sky. This is like that's a magic number. But instead, you brought us into this 58K. We're sitting here like suckers. Every single time we go above it, we slam right back down.
It's true. This is true.
It's just, I find it absolutely insane, though, that you were able to, jokingly, right, that you guys were able to call this, and it's freaking epic that we keep coming back here. So I'm at a loss. I'm afraid of any of your future predictions, of any of your future memes.
Yeah, why couldn't it be like 1 million K, gang?
Yeah,
he's right.
I don't. Yeah, maybe in the future. I don't know.
When 1 million K gang? That's the real question, Nico. When 1 million K gang?
It's true.
I don't know. I like
paid group, Dennis.
That too. When paid group.
I like 58K. I don't know if I'm gonna change, but we'll see in the near future. But you guys did bring up a good point. I think a lot of the whales, maybe they're looking at what we're doing. I mean, I would assume they're looking at some of the stuff we're doing.
They're absolutely looking at what we're doing. Okay, this was like, This is way too big of a fucking coincidence for it to be a fucking coincidence. It was too, bro. It's like it was scientific. We had to push. We've been floating around this 58K price for a long time. Right? 58K is 58K the new 10K, Dennis? Tell everybody the truth.
I think it's a little better than 10K. I think a lot of people can agree with that. It's slightly better.
It's almost 6 times better, but it's really
Yeah.
like 5 times better.
But it's
Yeah.
really 10K. Think about it. Think about it. It's really 10K. Because 100% move from here,
It's 20.
Oh,
it's over
yeah.
100K.
Oh,
So,
but it's 20K.
Yeah.
but it's he gets it, but it's 20K.
Yeah. I
Just
think
confusing everyone. They're like, these people have no idea what they're talking about.
no, I think I'll be pretty happy when we get to like 116K, and then whatever 116 plus 58K is after that. I don't know. Well,
We hit bottom. We hit bottom. Dennis said something other than 58K. That's it. That's it. We're not going to be at 58K any longer, Phil. It's over. Anyways, guys, if you're as pissed at Dennis as we are, let us know down in the comments. Write your messages towards Dennis. YouTube's going to delete any bad words or anything, so be somewhat civil, but also let your anger out. Just let it out. Let it all out. We have for the last couple days. This is all Dennis's fault. You heard it here first. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
The Daily Fail. The Daily Fail is sponsored by Amber App. Check them out. It's Bitcoin made easy. It's the easiest way to invest in Bitcoin. You can start with as little as $5 a month. Come on, we've got $5. And if we don't, it's something to strive for. Anyways, the link is down below. Yellow, I completely forgot that you had something to do with this 58K gang thing. And now I know that this is also your fault.
Amber, the smart way to stack sats.
This kind of goes on the heels of a show that we did where we showed essentially what BitBoy was charging for his quote-unquote shitcoin services. Anyways, we're going to dive a little deeper into this, okay, because fellow Bitcoiner Dustin Watchman tweeted out some really interesting information. And again, I mean, I personally haven't verified the accuracy of it all, but it definitely seems accurate, and I believe BitBoy is listed there, which we did actually show what he was charging. So anyways, guilt by association, I guess. All right, let's dive into this. Influencers selling their souls to the highest bidder to lead their sheep to the slaughterhouse while they stack Bitcoin on the profits. What is Dustin talking about? Let's take a look at these screenshots. All right, so first we've got YouTube influencers. Okay. So we've got the YouTube influencers here. You've got their names on the left. You got the links to each of their shows, right? You can see every single one of them here. And then after that, you can see what price they charge for what service that they're giving. Okay? This is...
Dude, these are such shitty people.
Yeah, I know. This is total crap. Look, and Ivan on tech. I'm sorry. You know, don't get me wrong. I remember I ripped on Ivan way back when we first started. We got so much hate for it. Look, I used to follow Ivan. When I was a shitcoiner and I didn't understand any better, I thought he made sense too. It's completely... and he's very personable. Anyways, and I totally respect the hustle, as Nico always likes to say. Grinds out a daily video and everything like that, but you know what? I ended up losing a ton of money listening to his bullshit, and that was my fault, not his. Anyways, let's move on. Don't need to follow the shitcoin shills. So this is the YouTube stuff. Now, one part that's really interesting here, which I thought was cool, was the Twitter stuff. Ooh, Twitter influencers. Their followers, their engagement, and what they charge for I guess for tweets or retweets or I don't even know. Anyways, take a look at some of this list, right? I never heard of some of these people, but Girl Gone Shitcoin, I remember when she first came on the scene. Okay, Layla Halpern, like at one point, like she was always talking about Bitcoin, and then all of a sudden it became a whole bunch of other crap. Wendy O just shills tons of shitcoin charts and hopium over and over again. I don't know, Trading Tank or TED Talk Macro or Crypto Boss. I don't know any of these people. But then if we scroll all the way down here, we've got Altcoin Sarah, or as I like to call her, Shitcoin Sarah. She's actually pretty interesting. She'll take other people's tweets and post them as her own. And I mean, I've caught her doing that several times. Not that that makes a difference in terms of this, but this is the point. These people are charging to tweet about shitcoins. Okay? So we just showed you a list of influencers on YouTube that charge you to shill you garbage. And we just showed you YouTube influencers that are Twitter influencers that are charging you, that are charging to shill you garbage. Okay? This is just disingenuous crap. Before I move on to the next one, you guys want to? You guys have any comments on this this list? These lists?
Dude, that is fucking crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't fucking know that. I mean, I did know that. They're like, it's like, does it surprise me? No. But
Exactly.
Dude, look. Remember what Leron said yesterday about how a lot of these shitcoins, a lot of the things are already breaking existing securities laws. I don't think you could do this with stocks. I'm pretty sure this is illegal. I'm pretty sure you can't get paid to shill a stock. Like I might be wrong there. I don't know, but like, dude, like how is that not illegal? Like I think that there's like a small loophole now where they can get away with that because it's just, you know, I forgive the expression, crypto is so new and stuff like that, but you're already seeing you're starting to see the beginning of the crackdown. So I don't think that the way that they've been used to operating, I don't think that they are able to do that for so long. And something that I said yesterday, which is the similarities between crypto culture and fiat culture. It's very similar, right? You come to us every day, you know, just to watch our show, if you do watch our show every day. But the point is like, we're not telling you, you know, what shitcoin next to invest and this is how you're going to be a millionaire. All the other channels are doing that, but you know, it's like, dude, it's like, obviously these people couldn't have your best interest at heart. There's a clear conflict of interest there, right? It's all get rich quick, man. I'm so disappointed that this is just the industry standard for influencers. It's like, give me a bunch of money and I'll sell my soul, and that's totally okay. Like, dude, I'm really, you know, and you know what I said about like to each their own, Phil, and like, you know, like I respect the hustle. It's like, yeah, I do respect the hustle, but like, dude, that method is not okay. Like, there's nothing okay with that. You know, I don't think that's okay. I think that if you're watching any of these channels, you know, have fun, but you saw the prices there, you know, like that's how much they're willing to fuck you over for, essentially. That's what when I see that, I'm like, okay, even if they're shilling crap, it doesn't matter. They have a price, you know? Like, and I said this in the recent Citadel 21 thing that I did with Pirate, is like, when push comes to shove, when Bitcoin's sitting pretty at a $5-10 trillion market cap and governments really start to crack down, these are the first people that are going to fold because they could be bought, right? If you're not in it for the revolution, if you're not in it for freedom, what are you? It's like you're in it for the fiat gains. And man, honestly, Phil, I'm just disappointed. I'm really disappointed so many people are just open to willingly fuck over their fellow human for a price. Like, anyways, Dennis, what are your thoughts? 58K, gang.
Well, I haven't really been onboarding a lot of noobs because they don't like the fact that 58K is forever, but it is what it is. But for new people coming in, I think a good way to like vet or like filter out a lot of the people that you're following is to see what they're, you know, tweeting about. There's always an incentive behind a lot of things that they post. And if you're following someone who, you know, has been in the game for a while and who's doing well just with Bitcoin, you're not really going to see them saying like, oh, buy such and such a coin, and because they know what they're holding. Like if you're holding Bitcoin, you know exactly what you're holding, and if it's only Bitcoin, because at the end of the day, like everyone wants to just increase their Bitcoin stack if they know what they're doing.
That's exactly right. And that's exactly what these people are doing.
I think I saw Dennis's name on that list, and his price was 58K, Phil. Did you know that?
Price was 58K.
Yeah, that's the signal right there. Anyways, Phil, what's your
Okay, here we
next
go. Oh yeah, check this out. All right. So the next one, right? You know that we're going to have to continue and dunk on this guy, right? Dave Troy, helping reality assert itself, anti-BS, the guy who was on a TED Talk and filled everybody with his garbage and his nonsense. Anyways, okay. So check this out, right? IMF is saying what needs to be said here. Volatility makes BTC ill-suited as a currency, and El Salvador is putting its people at risk unless there are proper guardrails. Ponzi schemes must suck in new liquidity at all times, even from poor countries. Does he even realize how the U.S. money system works? Like, so hold on. So we just to back up. He was painting a picture before that Bitcoin was right-wing. So all of a sudden he imposed a political angle onto Bitcoin that fits his bullshit narrative. Okay. And now all of a sudden he's starting to FUD BTC. And keep in mind, right? We also showed him on the fail. He was shilling Coinbase. He had his own little ref links. So look, this is just a sour no coiner who missed the bus. He's not going to stack now. Instead, he's going to use his clout and he's going to try to be a part of the noise machine. Anyways, okay. So we're going to move on to this. So you'll notice he doesn't let anybody comment, of course, because
you can't handle the heat. Can't handle the heat. Can't handle the heat.
So check this out, right? So here's some more FUD to around what he's the narrative he's creating. The fact that BTC is down 17% from a couple of weeks ago means more capital has exited than come in for a growth asset that's moving in the wrong direction and suggests liquidity is drying up. A preview of things to come unless new liquidity is found. Does he realize that the U.S. system has to continue to print money into perpetuity? And it's not just the U.S. system. It's many governments. Every single one of these governments that is debased. Okay, every single one of them that isn't anchored to reality has to print into infinity and make everyone poorer. This guy is a hypocrite, psycho prick. Okay, that's all he is. Just a hypocrite, psycho prick. Anyways, let's continue. And this is when you know it's time to stack. In this sense, BTC may already be dead, but just hasn't gotten the memo yet. Where's all this new liquidity going to come from besides new marks? And then wait, there's more. So we have a complete fool who doesn't understand Bitcoin ready to proclaim its death once again. And then we get one of his loyal followers who also, I might add, doesn't allow responses. Okay? There are only so many people who buy tulip bulbs. So look at this. We've got the classic makings here, right? We've got the Bitcoin is dead. We've got can't be a store of value because it's down 17%. Okay? No one's ever had a stock that goes down 17%. And again, I'm not comparing. Bitcoin has much superior qualities than a stock. But if we're going to compare it in terms that people understand, we're going to look at a stock, and a stock is considered a investment vehicle that is also a store of value. Those go down 17%. That's called a buy opportunity. You desperate hypocrite prick. Anyways, so he's got that. The Bitcoin's dead, and then we've got his loyal muggle follower that comes in and proclaims the tulip bubble narrative. So we know that he didn't even Google that. We know that he didn't do 10 minutes of research on the tulip bubble. We know that he did absolutely nothing. Just spouting the corporate-owned media narrative, right? It's a tulip bubble. It's a fad. It's this, it's that. You know what? The internet was a fad too, said Paul Krugman. All right? The internet's a fad. Amazon isn't going to kill Barnes & Nobles. Those are bookstores. Been around for years. Anyways, any thoughts on this before we move on to the final fail?
The final chapter. Okay, so you were specific. You said that person responding to him was his loyal follower. But if you look at his picture, he was his loyal bison, It was a bison. It was a Dave Troy loyal follower was a bison. So it was his loyal bison. Phil. Have to be specific, okay?
You're right. We do bring the receipts, and Nico just brought the receipt on that one.
Boom. Okay, so Liz, in all seriousness, okay, so remember I was saying this yesterday about Bitcoin exposes all hidden totalitarians on the left and on the right of the political spectrum. Clearly, I don't know where this guy is on the political spectrum, but if he's calling Bitcoin right wing, I'm assuming he's on the left side. That's irrelevant. The point is that it's a hidden totalitarian. That is, he's not. We showed you the receipt. We showed you that he was referencing Coinbase. So clearly this was interesting to him. Clearly he feels like he missed a boat. And just like Nirav Rubini, right? Just like Peter Schiff has admitted this, right? It's like he wishes he would have bought Bitcoin early. Those are his words, right? But it's like when Kaiser came on the show, he said this. He called those people egomaniacs, right? They can't stand the fact that this thing is going on without them, and they can't stand it. So, whether it's Nirav Rubini, whether it's this guy, their reflex is just to attack it. Now, unfortunately, Bitcoin punishes these people savagely because NGU technology is going to do its thing. It's going to leave these people in the dust, and there's going to reach a point where I'm afraid that they're going to lock Peter Schiff in an insane asylum because the stuff that's coming out of his mouth it's going to sound like insanity, right? And he's not going to hand over the gloves. Like, he's not going to stop. This guy's going to keep going. Like he already signed up for what he's getting, right? So even if Bitcoin hits $1 million, he's like, gold is still the answer, like it's like. And with this guy too, he's a statist. The US dollar is one of the most oppressive world reserve currencies ever. It cares where you're from, right? If you're born in a certain country, all of a sudden you're deemed unbankable. And this idea of the IMF nor governments decide what is a currency and what is not a currency. Only the free market decides what is and what is not a currency. If you're in a country like Turkey that is currently experiencing hyperinflation, do you think the people give two fucks what the fuck Erdogan or the government of Turkey has to say? No! They only care about storing their value. And they only care about Bitcoin because Bitcoin's one of the best ways to store their value, or I'm assuming actual gold, right? So it's like again, the free market is the only decider of what is a store of value, what is a currency. Governments, as much as they would like to be, don't decide that. They don't. And if you don't believe me, look at what happens to a country when they start experiencing inflation. People don't care about what the fuck the guy on TV has to say. They care about whether they're going to be able to put food on the table or not tomorrow. Dennis?
I don't know. I'll play devil's advocate here. So I like these guys because they might be, in theory, they might be part of 58K gang. I don't know. They might be keeping their followers away from Bitcoin to keep it at 58K. So I'm okay with this. I'm down. For all these haters.
Are you DMing with Dave Troy?
Yeah, 58K.
Is that what you're insinuating here?
Yeah.
He's DMing with Dave Troy about keeping it at 58K.
It's confirmed. It's not a conspiracy, Phil. It's confirmed. You heard it here. 58K is in bed with Dave Troy. Anyways, Phil, what's the last fail?
Oh, get ready. I hope you guys are ready for some dessert. Here we go. We've got some gelato on the menu. Let's take a look at this. This is actually from September 18th. Surprised that I didn't pick this one up earlier. Let's take a look at this. Gelato beaten at its own game, or how not to run a token sale. This is interesting. So there shouldn't be a token sale to begin with, because that's a shitcoin. But it gets worse, and we're going to dive into this. So Gelato's shtick is bots, which means they specialize in bots, okay? Launched in July 2020, the Gelato network automates smart contract functions on Ethereum. Okay, so smart contract-related bots, okay? An early use case was sorbet.finance. I love that, right? It's gelato. They've got sorbet. Of course they do. Nico, this is par for the course with the names, right? A bot-based utility for limit orders on Uniswap. Ingenious. Users who tried it got a festive email with raining ticker tape stating they'd be whitelisted for an imminent token sale. It would be used for governance and staking. We've never heard of that before. This is definitely groundbreaking. No one is, I mean, hear me out. A token for governance and staking? No way.
Can't be a shitcoin because it's both. Though.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this is helping everyone in every way. You're getting richer and you've got a vote.
Gelato's the future of finance.
Gelato's the future. Even though it automates bots, and for some reason that needs to be money. It doesn't matter. All right, here we go. August 19, 2021, Gelato sent an email to these early supporters saying the token launch was set for September 13th and that they'd get a further email about KYC. In an announcement, Gelato said it was opening registration to newcomers and would cap the whitelist at 10,000 participants. Of those, 5,000 would be selected for KYC. Oh, goody. This is great. All right, here we go. Recipe for disappointment. The sale was going to be first come, first served. A recipe for disappointment. But wait, it gets worse. The sale was split into two tiers. Whales would get first dibs and could buy up to 20K each for a total of $3 million. And dolphins, who could buy in 2 hours later up to an individual maximum of 4K. Whales would be handpicked by the team based on past engagement and potential future value to the community. I don't even know how to make that sound more shitcoiny than what I just read. But wait, this gets dumber. On the day of the sale, dolphins opting for the maximum allocation clicked max on the sale interface as per the instructions, then buy. This produced an unforeseen error. Gas fees could not be estimated. These purchases could not be completed. There was a glitch. Lucky participants, however, would have spotted a message on Discord posted just 11 minutes before the dolphin sale, warning those who got the error message to manually enter a buy amount slightly below the maximum. Unlucky participants did not see the warning or saw it too late. The sale was over in a minute. At the time of writing, 103 people had reacted to the warning message with a poop. That's right, a poop emoji. So here we go. What's worse, running a sale mechanism that has not been properly tested and debugged creates unfairness and leads to disgruntlement. It also raises questions about team competence. Yes, it does. Why are you putting money into a shitcoin that's trying to be money when all it is a bot? It is a bot that's pretending to be a token that automates smart contracts on Uniswap. It doesn't need to be money. Anyways, it emerged that even without the error message glitch, one's chances of making a buy had been slim, as the dolphins had been outmaneuvered by sharks. In an open letter, Gelato confessed, the sale, it said, fell victim to Sybil attacks and greedy individuals. Reportedly, a single account was able to automate and purchase 70% of the tokens. I'm sorry, greedy individuals. But a single account was able to automate 70% of the purchases of the token. But you said individual, but it's one, it doesn't matter. Turns out Gelato was beaten at its own game, or as one post on Discord noted, how can a team that is supposed to be super pros in decentralized bots get effed by the bots? Because that's exactly what happened. Okay? These bots ended up buying up the tokens. Think about that.
Did the
Think about that.
rug pull itself?
It did. It completely rug pulled itself. It specializes in bots and got rug pulled by bots. I mean, think about that. Just think about that for a second. Think about it. They're saying here, and this is what they're calling it, snipers got hold of hundreds of identities and ran script to front run everybody else. They literally got taken by bots, and they are bot super pros. And you're supposed to trust your value to this.
Dude, shitcoins and the foods. Remember what I told you? Observation: sushi, yam, gelato. This is a more sophisticated one, Phil. It's gelato, right?
Gelato.
But it looks like the gelato melted, Phil.
It does. It looks like there's a nasty spill on aisle 5.
Dennis, what are your thoughts on this? Are we being too toxic?
No, I think you guys are hitting the nail on the head about it. This seems like a bunch of extra steps for a coin burn, and then even more extra steps for like a centralized system, kind of like the Fed.
Yeah. The gelato is a shittier version of the Fed. That's a highly accurate description. What do you think, Phil?
It's a token for a bot that automates smart contracts on Uniswap. I mean, I want you to think about that. Why do you need a token for a bot? Why does a bot need to be money? I'm not getting past this. My brain is melting on my own fail.
If Janet Yellen came to your neighborhood in an ice cream truck and she started offering gelatos, you'd be freaked the fuck out. If she was a lady in the ice cream truck, you'd be scared. I know you would be scared. I would be scared. I'd be fucking terrified. I'd be like, she's a scammer.
She's a bot. Look, they specialize in bots. So right away, I'd assume she's... And you know what? She is a bot. There's many, many people that are bots out there.
It's true. That's true. Man, so much signal today.
People are bots.
People are bots. But anyways, Phil, it's time for the Daily Meme Review. The Daily Meme Review is brought to you by Citadel 21. It's the best Bitcoin cultural zine. Get yourself a physical copy. There's only 1,000 made per volume. This is volume 8 and volume 9. Different artwork every copy. Get your copy of Citadel 21 today. Dennis has one of the most legendary memes ever on Bitcoin Twitter. I'm very excited to get his score. Anyways, first meme is brought to us by Maxime Alist. Your hardware wallet and how you store the private key. It's true. How you store your seed is the weakest link. It is very true. It is the weakest link if you do it improperly. Anyways, I bet he is thinking about Bitcoin. And when should I tell her that we are moving to El Salvador? I like him. Firebrand Bitcoin, shitcoin marketing, shitcoin in reality. And I think this is a very good analogy and description of what we just experienced with Gelato. It sounds beautiful. Look, it's even the same country. Lamborghini. And then reality, that's what happens. Anyways, moving on to the next one. It's by Raleigh. Accurate. Bitcoin, hedge funds, banks, pension funds, nation states. And I know he's in the 58K gang. But anyways, awesome scores. Phil, why don't you go first?
You know what? Since we live in a clown world, and those were some pretty clown world memes, I am giving it a very fitting score of some juggling balls.
Juggling balls?
That's right.
Oh, okay.
I know how to juggle.
Dennis, what about you? What would you give those scores? I mean, those memes.
Let me see.
No idea what we're talking about.
What's going on?
What would you give that 58K gang meme on the score of the meme, the review?
I'd give them an 8 terabyte hard drive, so that maybe when we hit 58K again, I can afford a 58 terabyte hard drive.
Boom.
Can't wait.
It's deep. That's deep. Anyways, Phil, I'm gonna give it. This sticker has a skeleton. I don't know who this is from, but you know that you know where this is from. If you know where this is from, I'm gonna give it that score. Anyways, guys, do you agree with our memes? Do you disagree? Let us know down in the comment section and join our Telegram group. Link us some dope memes to review. Because it's a Bitcoin meme review, and we need dope memes to review. But anyways, Phil, it's time for the Daily News. The Daily News is brought to you by CryptoCloaks.com. Get yourself the best 3D printed Bitcoin merch, like the Bitcoin Honey Badger, space for hardware wallet, or the Bitcoin Freedom Grenade art thing. Super cool. You can get it in your custom colors. Take advantage of the link down below for 5% off CryptoCloaks.com. This is a tweet from today. And again, just, the universe has ways of playing tricks on you. This was my tweet. So when does the U.S. government decide El Salvador has weapons of mass destruction? After, the Bitcoin bond and all that stuff. And check out this news from Reuters. U.S. official says El Salvador relations paused for lack of interest. They're prepping it. Next, it's U.S. officials say there's weapons of mass destruction.
But like, what does that? What does that even mean?
Why do they care so much?
No, but what does that headline mean, Nico?
Why is this a headline on the front of corporate media? Like on the front, right? It's like this is disconcerting. Do you see what I'm trying to say? It's like, forget about what's happening in Austria and Germany. That's not news. This is news. Australia concentration camp. That's not news. This is news. Anyways, let me read this and then I'll get your thoughts, Phil. Relations between El Salvador and the United States are temporarily on hold due to the El Salvadorian government's apparent lack of interest in dialogue. Obviously, we're on a bit of a pause because the government of El Salvador is not giving a signal that it has interest in our relationship. It sounds like a really pissed off ex-girlfriend. Again, it's impossible to think that someone has an interest in our relationship when they're using their paid media machine to attack the United States every day. Remember what I told you about projection, okay? They're not using a paid media machine. El Salvador is a tiny little country, okay? Nayib Bukele is just going on Twitter. The office of President Nayib Bukele, who frequently criticizes the United States. Check out the language, people. I want you to pay attention to the language. They're making this guy to be a freaking criminal, okay? And this is why I tweet stuff like this, because it's all on purpose. The rhetoric is on purpose. It's supposed to villainize him. And again, the question that you have to ask yourself is, would Nayib Bukele be such a threat to them if he didn't make Bitcoin legal tender? I suspect this is all coming from remember I told you there was going to be a response to the volcano bonds. There was going to be a response to Bitcoin City. There was going to be a response to Bitcoin legal tender. That rhetoric right there is the response, because it's incepting you with this idea that this guy is a bad guy. He's a loose cannon. And the only option is for the United States to give them some freedom. But first, we have to find weapons of mass destruction there. I'm assuming it's going to be the volcano. Phil?
Okay. Let's be honest, right? What's that conversation really like? Take our slave money. I don't really need your slave money. I've got Bitcoin. What? Everybody needs our slave money. No, I don't, though. What? We're going to war. Like, it's like no joke. It's like that. That's how far away we are. So all of a sudden, right? All of a sudden, El Salvador is hostile to the U.S. when El Salvador uses the U.S. currency as one of their legal tenders as well, right? They were using the U.S. currency before Bitcoin. So this is the most ridiculous, and it scares me, right? It totally scares me that they're doing this, Nico.
Do you see?
Completely...
But do you see how they're setting it up? They're
absolutely.
It up. It's like
now he's becoming an enemy.
He's an enemy because he's not talking to the U.S. He's not open in dialogue. And like, how do you confirm all these things, right? But like, and I love how they say paid media machine. What paid media machine? You mean Twitter?
It's the one guy on Twitter, you know, trolling people.
It's projection. They're projecting what it is they are themselves.
How many?
It's like, oh my God, it's so stupid.
Nico, how many Steve Hanke articles have we shown of him attacking El Salvador? Mm-hmm. I mean, are you kidding me? This is the dumbest thing. He called him a crackpot. When did Nayib Bukele ever call anybody, any politician here, a crackpot?
They are the good guys. They are the good guys. That's okay, because they're the good guys. They have the moral high ground.
Right? I forgot.
So they're allowed to do that. Nayib Bukele is not allowed to do that. And it's so, dude, it's so evil, man. It's like, this is a tiny little country. It's a poor country. All of a sudden, they see hope for the first time. And it's like, they can't have that. No, that's dangerous.
You need freedom.
You need freedom. You need our slavery money. Anyways, Dennis, what are your thoughts?
I don't know if you guys got to listen to the spaces that happened after the Bitcoin City announcement. Were you guys on Twitter at that time? Like when it was?
I wasn't on that space. And what
happened? I was in it, but I was in and out of the space, so I didn't really catch the whole thing.
Yeah, it was really hard to listen to. But basically, Nico, you're on point with like the narrative that they're trying to push. So basically, they had a few accounts claiming that they are from El Salvador. So I don't know if it's like true or not, but whatever. But they're pushing the agenda that Bukele is a tyrant and he's wasting the citizens' like retirement funds on Bitcoin and giving it back to the people in Bitcoin. And I'm like, why can't I have a tyrant like Bukele to give me and all the Americans free Bitcoin? Like, that sounds dope. I don't know. It's funny.
That sounds like some paid shill crap. That's what that sounds like.
That sounds like some paid media machine. To be honest with you, that sounds like some paid media machine to me. But anyways, to kind of end the what I was reading, and then I'll transition to the last story. This is a quote. This is so scary, dude. On behalf of the White House, the State Department, we've offered a bridge, and the Salvadorian government decided not to take it. As far as we're concerned, we're interested in having the best relationship with El Salvador. I'm going to add parentheses, as long as it's on our own terms, then they're interested in that. If it's not on our own terms, then they're not interested in a relationship. Anyways, big news for today. Odell Beckham Jr. This is one of the most famous football players. He's extremely well paid, and this is absolutely huge. Russell Okung started this trend. It looks like one of the biggest, and this isn't going to stop. But, okay, to be specific, though, I'm sure that Cashapp gave him a sweet deal, and the reason that Cashapp gave him a sweet deal because they're competing with Strike. So Odell Beckham Jr. got his new salary in Bitcoin. That's huge. It's a new era, and to kick that off, I'm hyped to announce that I'm taking my new salary in Bitcoin thanks to Cashapp, right? And then he gives a $1 million giveaway, right? And that's tens of millions of dollars of salary because I know he's a super well-known, famous football player. And I think the signal there is, right, again, they're trying to compete with Strike because Strike is offering the same thing. I know Okung, I'm pretty sure he did it with Strike. So this is Cash App's response. It's what I always tell you, though, guys. When two companies compete for your business, you win, right? So it's good stuff. I suspect that once it goes good for Okung, and again, he didn't do this on his own intuition. He did this because he's a paid shill of Cash App. But it's going to benefit him tremendously, regardless of whether he's a paid shill or not, right? And when it goes well for him, I'm sure this is going to catch on. And, it's just a matter of time before we hear something like LeBron James taking part of his NBA salary in Bitcoin. And then that kind of stems to mainstream society. What happens when half of your society doesn't want to get paid in your state money and they want to get paid in Bitcoin? And this is what we're talking about when we reference Bitcoin sitting at $5 trillion and how that's going to be a threat more and more to the system. Because, in the beginning, it's just little trickles. Right, when the dam breaks, it's just little leaks here and there, but then it's just all at once, right? And we suspect Bitcoin's going to be the same once more and more people wake up to the fact that Bitcoin is a better money that doesn't steal from you. Phil?
Yeah, you know what? I wanted my salary to be in Bitcoin, and I remember that I wanted to ask the directorship that. But at the same time, I kind of understood that the type of dinosaurs I was dealing with, I'm like, no, that's okay. This isn't the right place to ask this question. But you know what? I think you hit the nail on the head, right? When that many people start to ask for their salaries in Bitcoin, all of a sudden, right, that state money doesn't look so great anymore. Mm-hmm. It really doesn't. And it comes with a lot of strings. Yep. So going back though to your to the tweet, I think it was is he also a football player? Sorry, I know nothing about team sports. He's also a football player. Yeah. So look, like you said, right? He might be a paid shill from Cash App, but he's going to be thrilled that he took his salary in Bitcoin. And yes, I definitely. So let me ask you guys this, right? Who's the next? Like Russell Okung, I don't think is a paid shill by Strike. Okay, like for those of us who have been on Bitcoin Twitter this long, to me, he is a real Bitcoiner. I think that many people would also attest to the same. So my question is, who's the next athlete that that is going to come on and talk about taking Bitcoin or partially part of their salary in Bitcoin? What do you guys think?
Let us know down in the comments. Let us know down in the comments.
That too.
And I already have the answer for you. It's Dennis. Dennis is the next athlete. He's in the major league memes. Dennis?
Yeah, I think, well, I don't really follow sports that often or at all. I guess just like Phil. So, but at the very least, let's say you're an athlete or you have a huge following and you start, I don't know, partnering up with Cashapp, Strike, whichever company that sells you Bitcoin, you're going to get a whole bunch of like interactions and tweets and followers just because of that. Like, I now follow this Odell guy because, oh, now he's like into Bitcoin. And I don't know anything about sports, and I didn't even know who he was until I saw that tweet. So there's sort of like an incentive there for them to just tweet Bitcoin at that point. So even if they don't get paid, it's like, oh, I have more followers now. I mean, if people care about that, I know these guys do, since they're like way up there in the entertainment leagues or whatever.
It's true, man. It's everyone follows their incentives, right? And all of a sudden, if you're getting paid in Bitcoin, you have millions of dollars in Bitcoin. What does it cost you to hashtag Bitcoin? Doesn't cost you very much. And as the NGU technology does its thing, it just becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy. Super ultra bullish. It's kind of a noise, but we try to break it down and focus on the signal. But anyways, Phil, there was an open source software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. The software releases are brought to you by CipherSafe. Check them out, ciphersafe.io. It is the best place to store your Bitcoin seed. Check it out. This is the Cipher Wheel, fireproof, waterproof, pet-proof. It's down below in the show notes. Check it out. All right, we've got BTC Payserver version 1.3.5. It is the best sovereign way to take Bitcoin and Lightning payments. Great team, BTC Payserver. Check it out down below in the show notes.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. Before we go, I want to give a shout out to our awesome guest. He is part of the 58K gang. So if you're pissed off at the price, direct all your towards this man. You can go give him a follow on the Twitter at DennisSat. And of course, guys, if you like the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the Bitcoin news from the pleb perspective and the catastrophic fails, definitely consider subscribing. And we'll see you tomorrow, guys, for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.
A sugar-coated poison apple is not a bridge.